Not a very good situation in Laikipia County. The insecurity situation is getting worse. We will be letting you in on the latest we have received from that part of the country. But some good news tonight. The positivity rate of COVID-19 in the country has dropped below 10%. We got details about that and also the country's efforts to ensure that as many Kenyans as possible get vaccinated. So we got a cocktail of this and other stories in our comprehensive news bulletin that begins right now. But remember, it's the 5th of September 2021. Today is that day where we get tested when it comes to our ability to give, our ability to extend a helping hand to the vulnerable in the society. So in our conversation on Sunday Express, that is exactly what we will be doing, sharing a story that will inspire you. Next time you see somebody who needs your help, you will be able to do that, because I'll be featuring somebody who was a street boy and ended up becoming a helping hand himself, helping other young boys from the streets to gain and become useful in the society. We will be sharing that later in the course of this particular broadcast. But first, let's get the highlights. At least 50 houses set ablaze in Kisindogo village, Olmoran, Laikipia County, in the latest spate of suspected armed bandits attack.
Safari ya kuhakikisha ya kwamba tumewaweka katikati ya mipango ya serikali haiwezi kusimama.
Geroge imeenda half time. Ijazimwa iko half time tu. Wanafanya mazoezi because nobody can.
DP William Ruto says no amount of intimidation will derail his quest for presidency as ODM leader Raila Odinga promises BBI comeback.
Let us avoid the politics of competition and degenerating our landscape into a heating of language and vulgar language and abuses of one to another, because that will not help anybody. Peace is what Kenyans want.
And the pulpit becoming the new breeding ground for hate and disharmony among Kenyans, warns ACK Archbishop Jackson Ole Sapit. Once again, a very warm welcome to this broadcast. My name is Serfine Achieng Ouma. John Jacob Kiria is away tonight, but I'll be doing this together with Anne Wangeshi on the sign language interpretation. Do engage us on social media at KBC Channel 1. Use the hashtag Sunday Express. Please share with me what kind of act of kindness has left a mark in your life. Was there a time somebody extended a helping hand and left a mark in your life? Share with me that experience to encourage others to do that. Of course, we begin straight away with that very sad story from Laikipia County. Tension remains high in Olmoran, Laikipia County, after 50 homes were set ablaze Saturday night and Sunday morning, with hundreds of residents fleeing from the area. On the 5th day of the attacks, armed bandits descended on their 100-acre Kisindogo village. The Rift Valley Regional Commissioner George Natembea has now asked those with missing relatives to report to the police station as investigations to bring the culprits to book continue. Purity Museo begins our bulletin.
Houses brought down. People hurt by a fire. Residents of Kisindogo village claim to have deliberately been ignited by armed bandits.
Tumeamkia hapa Kisindogo kuni upande ya Olmoran ambao ni iko katika hii ward ambao nilichaguliwa, na tumesikitika sana kwa sababu usiku wa jana hao watu walikuwa wamekuja mchana kuamkia leo na wakaambia wakaaji wa hapa wahame bila kujua labda ilikuwa vitisho, sababu hao watu wamekuwa pamoja kwa muda mrefu. Baadaye walikuja wakatuma vijana wao wa umri wa makamu na wameshoma nyumba karibu ya zaidi ya 50.
The incident further fueling the growing tension in the area caused by rising insecurity that has forced dozens to leave their homes.
Tulianza kama ni vidizo lakini tukaona kama ni mjezo tu. Tukaanza kuassume, lakini kuamkia jana ndio tuliona sasa bila hao watu mulisikia kando waliwawa. Sasa tukaona kama hiyo itaisha kwa vile serikali tulikuja tukaongelea huko Morani tukaona iko sawa.
Mimi kwangu kitu nilikuwa nazo ni marawe iliungulia ndani ya nyumba, marawe gunia 2 pamoja na mahindi gunia 3. Hiyo ndio kitu mimi naonanga. Hiyo ndio niko na hasara, na nguo sikaisha na basikiri. Hiyo ndio hasara nimepata.
Na hiyo watu wanatuchomea, tunaona ni majirani tu. Tunakaa na hapa miaka mingi, hiyo miaka yote. Lakini kwa mwezi ndio wanaanza vitisho. Wanaendelea vitisho hata tunaona ni majirani.
On Saturday, National Security Advisory Council is said to have discussed the insecurity situation a day after Rift Valley Regional Coordinator George Natembea led top security officials from the region in meeting with locals at Olmoran Township. So far, 2 people have lost their lives, while a Class 8 pupil is in hospital receiving treatment for gunshot wounds. Residents say they are living in fear and are calling for swift interventions from the national government.
Kuna mtu akunanisaidia, mnaona ile fesi nina fesi kwa nguvu, na mtu analeta ng'ombe kwa nguvu anaweka kwa samba yangu. Naomba serikali etusaidie.
Purity Museo, Sunday Express.
Really unfortunate there. We hope that meeting by the National Security Council will offer a way forward in addressing that insecurity situation in Laikipia. Now let's focus on some political issues. Deputy President William Ruto has condemned an incident witnessed in Kieni, Nyeri County today after 2 factions clashed moments before a church function which he was to attend. Ruto has accused his political opponents of using the youth to try and sabotage his Mount Kenya region tour, saying intimidation of his supporters will only reinforce his commitment to position ordinary Kenyans at the core of the next generation.
Chaos erupted in Kieni constituency in Nyeri County hours before a scheduled church event which Deputy President William Ruto was scheduled to attend. Some of the protesters are said to have blocked the road leading to PCEA Mbiriri Church, where the Deputy President's weekend tour of the region was supposed to culminate in a Sunday service. Ruto and his entourage ultimately attended Mbiriri Full Gospel Church and the service went on peacefully. However, the Deputy President and his allies claim that political opponents are using every trick to block him from meeting his supporters.
Hata ingawaje wamejaribu kufunga barabara, wamejaribu kupanga vijana ati walete fujo.
The Deputy President maintaining intimidation will not deter them from their cause.
We are not going back and we will not retreat and we will not surrender because we are determined to change the destiny and the fortunes of ordinary citizens of our republic.
Ruto later made stopovers in Kirinyaga, Makuyu and Kenol in Murang'a County and Githurai in Kiambu County, where he popularized the bottom-up economic model as a vehicle of sustaining businesses and creating employment.
Kuna watu wamekasirika sana na hiyo mambo ya bottom up. Tayari tuko na wabunge 150 kabla hata haijapigwa kura. Hii ndio chama tutaunda naye serikali mwaka ujao.
This as the service party leader Mwangi Kiunjuri warned the Deputy President and his allies against deceiving their followers that they have Mount Kenya region votes safely in their basket.
It's too early to say that you have scaled the mountain. The mountain is so high. There is also ice up there. The weather can be very bad.
Kiunjuri was speaking at St. Andrews in Nanyuki, where he attended church service. Ben Chumba, Sunday Express.
Thank you, Ben, for that report. Still more politics. ODM leader Raila Odinga has promised a comeback of the Building Bridges initiative, saying the initiative was meant to ensure more resources are allocated at the grassroots level. The former Prime Minister, who was speaking at Pentecostal Assemblies of God Church in Lang'ata, said opponents of the BBI misinterpreted it to mean it was an avenue to create more positions for some individuals.
You can have time too. Unafanya mazoezi because nobody can. Itaendelea. Kati yake itakuja. BBI ililetwa ili kuleta usawa ya ugavi ya rasilimali katika taifa letu. Tulipokuwa tumesalimana uhuru, hatukufikiria mambo ya kubadilisha katiba. Tuli-identify points 9. Ambayo tukasema zizi ndio zinaathiri Kenya. Na tukaweka jopo kazi iende ikaulize Wakenya vile tunaweza kusuluhisha hii shida.
What we call rural economic revolution. That is what we believe in as ODM going forward. And we will achieve this revolution through setting up of industries in the villages and also through proper devolution.
Sisi katika chama cha ODM tumesema pia hata kuwe kugumu tukose tupate, hatumuachi huyu mheshimiwa Raila Amolo Odinga. Na tumechukua msimamo huo kwa sababu tunajua kwanza historia yake ya kupigania uhuru wa nchi hii, tunajua mawazo yake mazuri ambaye amepanga kwa ajili ya taifa hili letu la Kenya.
That those things in BBI are not lost. Mimi najua that as he runs as the reconstruction candidate, iko jambo ako nazo, ako na jawabu, ako na jibu, na inawezekana, si ndio?
Staying on that political note, the church has called for political tolerance as the country heads to the 2022 general elections. Anglican Church of Kenya Archbishop Jackson Ole Sapit has at the same time warned against the use of the pulpit to cause division and disharmony among Kenyans. Timothy Kipnusu with that report.
Sunday morning and rival groups clash ahead of the DP's visit in Biriri Kieni in Nyeri County for church service. The tension in the area rising with the two churches which the deputy president planned to visit cancelling their invitation. Reports indicating that several people were injured during the melee. The kind of political intolerance that has caught the attention of the church. Speaking during a church service at All Saints Cathedral, Archbishop Jackson Ole Sapit raised an alarm that the church has unfortunately now become the new platform for causing disharmony among Kenyans.
Even as we approach 2022, you know that's a big scare. And I've been telling Kenyans, you know, we are not ready for another disruption. We already have the locust disruption. We had the COVID-19 disruption. Are you ready for a political disruption? Is anybody ready for a political disruption? So let us tell our leaders we are not ready for political disruptions. Let 2022 be a peaceful year. Seek your votes, not by undermining anybody.
Sapit calling for unity among Kenyans.
Let us avoid the politics of competition and degenerating our landscape into a heating of language and vulgar language and abuses of one to another, because that will not help anybody. Peace is what Kenyans want.
And as the church raised its voice against the unforeseen danger ahead of the general election, it's upon those who have ears to let them hear. Timothy Kipnusu for Sunday Express.
Now to Kisumu County, investigations have been launched to establish the cause of a fire that razed down sections of Prosperity Building in Kisumu County. The building hosts several national and county government offices, Lake Region Economic Block, Planning and Lands, as some of the county government offices reported to have been affected. According to the Kisumu County Commissioner, Josephine Ouko, the fire broke out at around 1 p.m, but the county fire brigade responded quickly and put it out before it spread further. Fire brigade personnel attributed the unfortunate incident to a suspected electrical fault.
So far, we've not been able to know the cause of the fire, and the investigation team is already here, and they're going to undertake a full investigation to let us know what actually transpired.
We got a call from the police control room, and then alerted our fellow officers, and we rushed here. Climbing the stairs, the fire was on the 9th floor. We found 2 rooms very much alight with fire. We had to relay the hoses and to extinguish the fire within 10 minutes.
Now, I want us to look at the COVID-19 situation in the country. Some good news. Kenya's coronavirus positivity rate dropped below 10% Sunday after 480 people tested positive for the deadly COVID-19 disease from a sample size of 5,668. The Ministry of Health says the positivity rate has now dropped to 8.5%. From the cases, 448 are Kenyans, while 32 are foreigners. So far, the country has confirmed 240,172 cases, while cumulative tests now stand at 2,411,720. 8 patients have succumbed to the disease, all of them being late deaths reported after conducting facility record audits in August and September 2021. A total of 4,786 patients have died since March 2020. Globally, a total of 221,290,070 coronavirus cases have been reported, while 4,578,714 others have succumbed to the disease. As at Saturday, 2,862,528 people have been vaccinated. The government expects some 880,000 doses of Moderna vaccines from the US government to arrive on Monday to boost the national vaccination drive. Now moving on, a family from Kandara, Murang'a County is appealing to well-wishers to help them raise 5 million shillings to enable their 1-year-old daughter undergo a liver transplant in India. Baby Tamara Wambui was born with biliary atresia condition, a blockage in the ducts that carry bile from the liver to the gallbladder, and requires an urgent liver transplant to save her life. Have a look.
Baby Tamara Wambui may seem like a normal child until you take a closer look at her. She was born with a rare liver disorder and has a history of jaundice since birth.
Tamara alizaliwa vizuri kama watoto wengine, na akiwa na 5 days nika notice ako na yellowness. Nikampeleka hospitali, wakaniambia ni ya jua, niende nimuoteshe jua itaisha. Tukarudi tu nyumbani, nikaendelea na kumuotesha jua, but ile yellowness haikuisha. Liver sahi sasa ni kama haifanyi kazi. Ukimwangalia kwa tumbo imefura. Unaona? Si ati ni kukula amekula akashiba, ni maji.
The family has made numerous trips to hospitals seeking treatment and is now seeking help from well-wishers for her to undergo an urgent liver transplant in India to rectify the disorder.
Last month but one ndio ikapatikana ni liver iko na hiyo disease, biliary atresia.
The mother, who is the donor, is not able to raise the 5 million shillings required, and her family finances have been heavily strained by medical bills.
NHIF wamenisaidia, wamenilipia 500,000. So imebaki ni 4,500,000. Tukienda hali haiko mbaya vile, after 2 weeks. Tukienda tu kama haiko mbaya vile pia, tunaweza rudi after a month. Hiyo ndio safari yenye tumekuwa nayo Kenyatta, in, out.
Donations to assist baby Tamara can be channeled through M-Pesa pay bill number 247247, account number 0720566378, or via M-Changa pay bill number 891 300, account number 48940.
Naambiwa hata hafai kufikisha, yani daktari anasema hawezi fikisha 18 months. Na so far unaona ako na 13 months.
For Sunday Express, I'm Ben Troinjue.
All right, and on this International Day of Charity, you're wondering where to start exercising your charitable spirit? You can begin by helping that family to raise the 5 million that they need to save the life of baby Tamara. Now, moving on, families of the victims of the last week's Gashie building collapse are now appealing to the government to chip in and cater for funeral expenses. The 3 families who lost their kins in the tragedy say they can't afford to ferry them for burial at their rural homes owing to financial constraints. More of this in our County News Roundup.
A police truck on Saturday night rammed into residential houses at Almaina informal settlement on the outskirts of Nyahururu town in Laikipia County, leaving a 10-year-old boy with serious injuries. The accident, which occurred along the Nyahururu-Rumruti road, happened when the driver of the truck allegedly lost control of the vehicle. The injured boy is receiving treatment at the Nyahururu County Referral Hospital.
Gari ya polisi lori aina ya Isuzu imetoka upande wa Rumruti ikielekea Nyahururu, ikaruka bump, alafu lose control, ikaingia mpaka kwa manyumba. Imebomoa nyumba moja, ya pili ikabomoa, lakini bahati mbaya mtoto akawa amenaswa katika ile gari, chini ya ile gari.
Meanwhile, the streets of Marigat town along the Kabarnet-Nakuru highway are now well lit after the county government of Baringo installed floodlights. Baringo South Member of Parliament Charles Cameron says traders, especially honey and meat vendors, can now start exploring a 24-hour economy once the night to dawn curfew currently in place to contain the spread of COVID-19 is lifted.
I want to call upon the public now to make use of this light. Make sure that now you walk beyond the hours that you used to walk. And again, we also arrange in that we improve on our businesses, because now security has improved.
And vocational centers in Nakuru County have in the last 1 year recorded a high dropout among students as the effects of COVID-19 continue to be felt. According to Leah Waidera from the Director of Youth in Nakuru County, many girls had dropped from classes due to pregnancy, while their male counterparts were engaged in drugs, adversely affecting the education program.
When they have these skills, they are able to get busy, and they are also able to produce. So we'll reduce a lot of theft, we'll reduce a lot of drug taking, we'll reduce a lot of pregnancies, early pregnancies. So it is going to help the youth.
This as the youth program in Embu County is using theatre and film to create awareness on societal issues. Going by the name Sanaha na Kahawa, the group has produced a play titled Songs of Safari to communicate a message of hope in a bid to restore public confidence in the police service following a recent incident in the region.
Artists, we may not be in a position to demonstrate in the street, but using such a form of expression, maybe our message gets louder and we create awareness and advocacy at the same time.
Finally, a section of religious leaders from Rongo, Migori County now want the government to make available the COVID-19 vaccine in places of worship. They say majority of rural folks may not be able to access the drugs. Hence, there is need to make the commodity available in places of worship.
The government should come to our churches with the vaccination so that the people who are involved in the church have to be vaccinated for them not to be destroyed by this pandemic, which is coronavirus.
All right, and on that note, we are going to be taking a short break right here on Sunday Express. But when we come back, our conversation on this International Day of Charity, I'll be having that conversation with Joseph Geroge Wanyoike, a former street boy who is now a founder and CEO of Global Hope Rescue and Rehabilitation Center in Ngong. How it started from him being a street boy to now saving street boys. That's a story you do not want to miss, coming up after the break.
forma diferente, de otro modo.
Father. Do not call me father! You know perfectly well I'm not your real father.
And now you know that I was the one who used you when I chose to get married to you. It wasn't you. Mother!
I don't know. No. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know where Lucio is. I don't know.
You are all mistaken. There's only one murderer here. Today, no, all your crimes will be exposed to the world, Lucrecia.
I need you to tell me who's it going to be. Is it Constanza or your child, Max?
Quiero amarte de una forma diferente, de otro modo, nunca igual al de otra gente.
Haina amani, haina upendo, yani haina mwelekeo wote. Mimi sizishi hapa.
Unahitaji subira mara 10 zaidi ninavyohitaji subira kutoka kwako.
Kwani uchukue suitcase ngapi? 3. Maana haya humu ndani haishi leo.
Kama ni mambo yako ya kigangaganga mimi sitafanya. Sijaelelewa kigangaganga mimi.
Na akija kikataa maagizo itakuwaje?
Akatae. Hawezi kukataa maagizo. Sisi tutamlea kufuatana na desturi zetu na ndivyo tunavyotaka kumlea.
Is dangerous. He is my father's enemy.
Over my dead body.
Right. Thank you so much for staying with us. We've now come to the time where we want to have that very important conversation. It is the 5th of September, the year 2021, and every year around this time, we usually mark what we call the International Day of Charity. So if you've heard about the word charity, it's all about giving, it's all about helping, it's all about being there for somebody who is vulnerable, somebody who you can bless. It could be material, it could be just being there for them emotionally, whichever way you choose to do an act of kindness to somebody. But today we want to do something a little bit different, because many a times we give and we're not really sure whether what we are doing is right, or which we could have given more, we could have done something different. You question yourself a lot. Others have stayed away from giving because of the mistrust and a lot of issues of con men who've come into, the world, and you feel like, let me keep what I have for myself. So we just want to clear the air, and I want to do this program differently on this International Day of Charity by bringing in a story that will really inspire you to extend a helping hand next time you meet somebody who needs it. And joining me in studio right about now is none other than Joseph Geroge Wanyoike. Joseph is actually a trained engineer by profession. As he sits here, he could have not been here today sharing this story were it not for somebody who extended a helping hand. So let's start there. Joseph, thank you so much for creating time. Just tell us a little bit about yourself.
Thank you so much, Serfine, and for this opportunity. I'm so grateful to be here. My name, as you have said, is Joseph Geroge, born Eldoret in a slum called Kamkunji, in a family of a single mother with 4 children. So I had 1 sister and 3 brothers. And life at slum is a difficult life. And back in Eldoret, my family was so much dysfunctional, such that our single mother could not provide anything for our family. So that messed everything in the family. So it was just struggle for the fittest from childhood. And at the age of 5-6 years, I had already tested alcohol, busa, changa, because that is something that was common in our local area with the rest of the boys. Slowly by slowly, at the age of 16, I could go collect scrap metals in Nairobi, in Eldoret town, and come back with something, and maybe bring some milk at home or something. I had already learned that from my elder brother. I was trained to steal, pickpocketing, also drug addiction, and also drug trafficking.
So this was when you were around what age? That is
7 years.
Around 7 years.
7
You're already
years.
doing all this, going to town, picking up scrap metals, selling, stealing, and drinking alcohol. And using some drugs.
Yes, and also exploring Kenya. Like when I was that age, I went to Kitale, I went to Kakamega, I went to Nakuru. And finally, at the age of 9 years, I came to Nairobi town.
So how do you go? Do you book a bus or what? How do you go?
It's a very funny story.
To do what?
We are so dirty. By the time I left home, I left at the age of 7 years completely, and I never went home back again. We could sleep in trashes and everything, and so that means that we never took shower. So I was thinking, but when you give money to someone for help, I think money doesn't smell. So when I gave to a conductor some 40 shillings, he put me in a boot in Eldoret Express. So when he opened the key boot earlier in the morning, I slept on top of the luggages, and I came to Nairobi. Yeah, that way. And from there I started another life in Nairobi, and it was a bit in another level. Street kids in Nairobi is not the same as
greener pastures.
Yeah, they are greener pasture, but it's not easy anyway. Because it's easy, you get money easily, but also you risk your life more.
All right.
Because
You know, sorry to cut you short. You know, we sit here and we laugh about it.
Yeah.
And for some people who've not experienced it may think, you know, it's easy. Sometimes we even look at the street kids and we're like, some people ignore them. Some people have this negative attitude towards them. As somebody who has been in the streets, how would you describe that particular life?
Street life is life of desperation. It's life of no hope. It's life of there's no any sense of direction. So the public is the one that should give proper direction. The public means the teachers, the doctors, the church religious leaders are the people who should give proper direction to these kids. But you find maybe out of 1,000 people who pass a long way where one street kid is, where he's begging, for example, maybe only 2 people out of 100 can be able to listen to them. So it's a life that makes them feel so much emaciated and brings them to very low self-esteemed situation that they are not able to cope up with the situation. That's why they keep on looking at themselves and feel that we don't belong to this community. It's not ours.
Okay. Geroge, many times people ask, why did you end up in the street? This is a question many are asked. For you, if you look at your story and if you look at the circumstances under which you and your family existed then, what pushed you from home to the streets that you ended up spending all those years in the streets?
The same way you said before, better pastures, greener pastures. Because when at home, it was not easy to afford maybe 3 meals in a day. Rather, even 1 meal in a day was not easy. So when I went to the street first, and I came when my stomach was full. I felt that is the best way. First of all, I went because of my stomach. But after going there, I found other things that I got engaged into. But first, I went because of my stomach.
So here you are, you leave the comfort of your house. Okay, it wasn't that comfortable, according to how you're describing it, to go and find something to eat. And then you turn into somebody else. Tell us about this somebody that grew in the streets. Who did Geroge become?
I was innocent when I joined the street.
Yes.
I had taken alcohol, but not in that extent. But when I went to the street, I was introduced to glue. The boys whom I found like friends in the street, they told me this one brings out stress. You don't remember about home anymore. It gives you courage to steal when you want to take something and you are high. You don't think, and sometimes when someone hits you after stealing, you don't even feel pain. And actually I tried it and I attempted to steal and I was hit like ngumi, a blow, and I never felt it. So it became like something.
Lifestyle.
So anything I used to get from the street, I took it towards, I was collecting any money towards satisfying myself in terms of revolving into drug addiction and other things like stealing and being violent. So many things that we did in the street that a normal kid who stays with parents
would
cannot
not do at that age.
Yes, yes.
So it started by just looking for food. Then
Yes.
you started getting into addicted into some
Yes.
some of these drugs and,
Yes.
and alcohol, and now
Yes.
you needed money to
Yes.
even facilitate
Yes.
that lifestyle.
Yeah.
I just want to understand what your turning point was. At what point? Because today it's International Day of
Yes.
Charity. Somebody
Wow.
somewhere did something.
Yes.
No wonder you're here sitting
Yes.
here as an engineer today.
Yes.
And also you run a center that is rescuing children.
Yes.
Tell us a little bit about first that turning point.
Yes, I'm going to talk about two special people. That is Dr. Muli and Mami Muli. Mami Esther, the wife of Dr. Muli, who found me in the street. I stayed in the street and the life became so difficult. I started admiring to come out. Because
You
the
got tired.
more I lived in the street, I became enemy of everyone. So the policemen, the kanjo, the business people, nobody wants you. Until that point when I met Dr. Muli in the streets of Eldoret and he welcomed me. He was the first man out of 1 million who hugged me. With all my stickingness and my dirtiness, my mouth was smelling and everything.
You didn't know each other?
We didn't know each
Do you
other.
remember the time? Do you
Actually,
remember the moment?
I had a mark on my face. I had a scar, which I got burned in the street, and it was very painful. That is the time when I was rescued. And this man hugged me and they kissed me. And I remember I was given new clothes. I thought it's a dream. So I was admitted at Muli Children's Family and I was given a chance. And because of the behaviors in the street had sunk into my mind, it was very difficult to change. But this man never gave up. He stood by me. He gave me hope. He made sure that I had food. He made sure I had good health. And despite all, he made sure that I am a successful person.
So these two strangers, they come and they find you in this desperate situation.
Yes.
They don't know you, you're not related.
You can imagine.
And they're here and they're actually embracing you.
Yes.
How do you describe that moment? How do you describe what it has done to you as a person, as Geroge?
I felt loved. I even felt forgiven. Like all the mistake I had done in the street, I felt like I had not done any mistake, and I have a new home, and I feel like I am like any other kid anywhere. So I got a lot of confidence with my life. Yes.
What would you tell somebody who is watching and on this particular day where we are actually just advocating for more Mulis, more Dr. Mulis to come out and
yes, that's a very good question.
What would you tell them?
Yes, in Kenya and in the world, we have many people who try to do this charity. Some people think that they are giving too small, and there is nothing small when you are giving. Remember, even when you stand with the street, these desperate children, you give them even an ear. It gives them a lot of confidence to speak and they feel loved. So people start and they don't continue because they have never gotten hope, or they think it's a very big mountain to climb. But I'm here to tell you today, whenever little you are giving to any needy person, it doesn't go in vain. Every small help, every small contribution, even little talk, even mentorship counts a lot. That means it's a small drop in the ocean, but after some time it's going to turn all the waters in the ocean and everything will change. And that is what has made me to be who I am today.
Let's talk about who you are today.
Yes.
So you went into this children's home.
Yes.
Before you were just limited to, let me find something to eat, let me find some little money for alcohol and drugs, let me get the next victim that I'm going to steal from. And then you get into this children's home and then your mindset changes. What happened and how did your worldview change? What inspired it?
Through a lot of love and commitment from Daddy Muli and Mami Esther and the rest of the staff members, through the spiritual nourishment and engagement in so many sports and other things that kept me busy, for sure I transformed completely. And after high school, I also went to RVTTI to undertake a diploma in mechanical engineering for 3 years, which I graduated, of course, with a distinction.
Wow.
And got a job and came to Nairobi and found job. But again, I met street kids again. The same place, River Road, I used to be. I found street kids there. That is what changed my mind. And I said I cannot lie to myself anymore. I'm meeting these kids. I used to be here. I think I need to do something. And slowly by slowly, I started engaging myself into street families. And after some times, not very long, I quitted from my job and officially started helping street children.
So that is how the Global Hope Rescue and Rehabilitation Center
started, yes.
That is how it was birthed.
Yes.
So you quit your job as an engineer to go back to the streets.
Yes.
Many would find that a very difficult decision to make. I mean, you've been in the streets all your life.
Yes.
All anyone would want is just to get out of it and be comfortable somewhere.
Yes.
So why would you do that?
I felt that I had a debt. I needed to pay some debt somewhere. And that is one way of appreciating Dr. Muli. And also giving back, also to thank the Almighty God for changing my life, was to do similar thing, because I just felt I don't have anything that can stop me from doing that. Not just a matter of money, but I felt even my presence itself. It was a radical move, let me tell you, Serfine.
It wasn't
because
an easy
I
decision.
lost friends.
Yeah.
Many people blocked me from their phones because they thought maybe I became cheesy. Kichwangu imeruka, but I never lost hope. I said, I'm going to do this despite what. And along way also Dr. Muli came in, and this thing went smoothly, and it's running till
How many years down the line now?
I think it started in May 2013. 8 years now. And for already we have been able to rehabilitate over 200 from a street, and it's boys and young men, no girls, you can imagine.
For people who don't understand how this works, because you said something very important about, you think this is a mountain and you'd want to help, but you think it's a very big mountain that you may not climb it to the top. So you say, I'd rather just stay, let me not involve myself in that the problems that person is going through.
Yes.
You've been in this for quite a while, and somebody also held your hand. No wonder you're here today. What would you tell them to encourage them to just take that one step to begin climbing that mountain in helping someone?
You just start from where you are. You don't wait until time comes, because time for hope is not measured, is not known, is indefinite. So you just start now. And you know every step you are making, you will get obstacles on the way, you will get discouragements, you lose friends. But remember, everything, every small help you are giving counts somewhere. And it has a very big impact in the life of somebody, even the ones you don't know. You can imagine Dr. Muli did a lot of work in me, step by step, step by step. You can imagine how many lives have been transformed through me, through this one help that I got. So any help you give, it's very good for you to know that it counts somewhere. Even if people don't see, God in heaven sees, and is going to reward you in a way that you cannot measure. Yeah.
And there are many like you. You at the children's home, you saw many come in sniffing glue, and they were dirty, and they were, people who would be branded as social misfits, and they were transformed, and they became, share with us those success stories about you, the alumni, your friends, people you connect with today, whom you went through the same program with.
Yes. Let me start here a bit, nyuma kidogo. When I started bringing those kids in my home in Ngong, people started saying I'm breeding criminals. And when we started engaging these boys into education and other arts programs, sports, they emerged the best. Academically, you can imagine they are hitting everyone in Ngong, both primary and secondary school. We have boys who are in university now. We have others who are undertaking technical courses. In sports, I think our club is the best football club also there. And I think it motivates me so much to see such boys who lived somewhere hopelessly, and they're now turning to be professions who are going to take care of this country in few years to come. So it gives me a lot of motivation to feel that I did not lose anything. Until this point, comparing to my profession, engineering, and the call of God, I think I've not lost anything till this point.
No regrets.
No regrets.
Yeah. Must you have extra to give?
Sorry?
Must somebody?
No.
Must you have extra?
No. You give what God has blessed you with. Because if you start looking at what you have extra, you will not have that extra to give. You just start with what is a journey. You just start and you do it and you forget. You do another one and you don't keep record of what you give. You are going to get a lot of success in it.
And in this journey, it's not easy. There are some who will be rebellious along the way. There are some who will not appreciate what you're doing in their lives. How do you deal with those hiccups as a giver? Let me use that term, because I'm sure in fact you were sharing with me earlier how you are one of the rebels. Dr. Muli would come and look for you and take you back to the children's home, and you ran away, and he kept doing that over and over again. Talk to us about how to deal with those blows as you're trying to be a good person.
First of all, when you're doing this kind of charity, especially running CCIs like what we do, you find that you have to go in line with the government, you have to go in line with the public, you have to obey your church, you have to also do good to the beneficiaries you are helping. And sometimes when you are undertaking all those activities, sometimes those boys run away from the institution, they go back, sniff glue, you have already paid school fees for them, and you have to go back and pick them. And it reached this point when I lost hope, and I told Daddy Muli, I'm giving up, because these boys are running away so much, and I'm giving up. And he told me, you remember you used to run away, now it's your time. So the same way you used to enjoy me, now it's your time to do it. And I went back, and he told me, you will not do for long, just put your focus on those boys and know what you are doing. And I went back, and I never lost hope. Until now, it's a successful story.
And it is quite an inspiring story. Wonderful job you're doing there with the boys. You know, some have excelled, others are prefects, others are on the way to going to college and pursuing great courses. Look at what just that show of kindness, that act of giving did in your life, and now you're planting the same seed in the lives of these young boys, and they will do the same to others. As we bring this conversation to a close, I want to give you this platform to just look at that camera and encourage somebody. You know, we need more like you, we need more like Dr. Muli, we need more givers in our society, so that we can all be equal, and we can all help the vulnerable. Just your words of encouragement.
The world we are living now has a lot of dimensions, and many people we are reaching a point where everyone is focusing by himself or herself, but it's very important to also make a follow-up on who you are living, who your neighbors are, and how they are living. The small help, the small impact you give in your community or with your neighbor, or helping a child to go to school, or feeding a family, that is not something that should be taken for granted. For people who are aspiring to do that, or they have already started, never lose hope in that. Never even listen to someone to encourage you, tell you you are doing the right. For now, I tell you, you are doing the right thing, and in the right time, you are going to see the goodness of whatever deeds you have done. Keep up and never lost hope. God is with us all. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Joseph Geroge, for creating time for us. Joseph Geroge Wanyoike is the founder and CEO of Global Hope Rescue and Rehabilitation Center in Ngong. And of course, he has just been here to share with us the story of success when it comes to giving and being charitable. He says that he's here today courtesy of a helping hand that was extended to him by none other than Dr. Muli and his family, who is running a children's home in Dalani. Thank you so much, and extend our regards to Dr. Muli himself. We appreciate what he is doing for the children there. And on that note, this brings us to the end of our conversation. It's International Day of Charity. Do something. It does not matter how little or how big it is. Just do something for somebody. It will go a long way. Thank you so much for watching so far.
Siku hizi haina amani, haina upendo, yani haina mwelekeo wote. Mimi sizishi hapa.
Unahitaji subira mara 10 zaidi inavyohitaji subira kutoka kwako.
Kwani uchukue suitcase ngapi? 3. Maana haya humu ndani haishi leo.
Kama ni ya mambo yako ya kigangaganga, mimi sitafanya. Sijaelelewa kigangaganga mimi.
Na akija kikataa maagizo itakuwaje?
akatae. Hawezi kukataa maagizo. Sisi tutamlea kufuatana na dasturi zetu, na ndivyo tunavyotaka kumlea.
Being together is dangerous. He is my father's enemy.
Over my dead body.
And now it's time for your Sunday sports. National soccer team Harambee Stars shared spoils with Rwanda this evening after playing to a 1-1 draw in their second 2022 World Cup qualifier match played at the Nyamirambo Stadium in Kigali. Michael Olunga put Kenya at...
It's also fair. I mean, looking at both sides having not won their first game, now come back to Rwanda and we pick points. It's tight, but we're still in the race. The rest of the World Cup was just begun, so we're still on.
Now moving on, champion Sahib Omar emerged a winner in the four-wheel drive non-turbo class as curtains came down on the 6th round of the KCB Kenya National Autocross Championship. He beat Eric Bengi, who settled for second position, as he garnered 2 bonus points by setting the overall fastest time of the day. 9-year-old driver Kiana Rajput won the Pee-wee class, which is the lowest class in the championship. Kiana beat newcomer Ian Bengi, who is the son of rally driver Eric Bengi. Uraj Singh won the quad class. Rajvir Tethi in a D-Woo emerged the winner in the two-wheel drive non-turbo class, beating Sam Karangatha, who settled for second place. Rehan Shah emerged the winner in the open class. Yuvraj Rajput won Bambino class after beating Karamveer Singh to second position. All right, over 200 players turned up for the Nairobi Chess Championship that culminated today at Sarit Center, Nairobi. The event was the second largest tournament to be held this year following disruption of chess activities due to COVID-19. Meanwhile, Kenya Roller Skating Secretary General Lamek Wafula has urged skating clubs to register with the sports register in a bid to develop the sport and nurture talent from grassroots levels.
After the outbreak of COVID-19, which disrupted many sporting activities, Kenya Chess Federation has held its second largest tournament this year, which attracted participants from UK, Malawi and Kenya. The Nairobi Championship was used as a curtain raiser for the Mombasa Open, which is set to be hosted later this month. In some of the results after 6 rounds, Taran Bulgaria finished top in the standings, while Munya Gabriel finished second. Oloka Sean settled for the 3rd position.
Players were really looking and eager to play. We had one of the biggest turn-up. We have 270 participants, of which 70 were the juniors. The junior were having only one day event, but today now we have seniors who are playing for 2 days. Out of the senior event, we have 33 who are female, and the remaining are male. So
elsewhere, Kenya Roller Skating Secretary General Lamek Wafula has urged skating clubs to register with the sports registrar in a bid to develop the sport and nurture talent from grassroots levels.
Kwamba we have been trying to push our clubs. Sababu unajua tangu the new Sports Act of 2013, most of our clubs have not registered with the Register of Sports. And so we want to increase that capacity in terms of have many clubs registered officially. Na unajua with this pandemic, that's again a challenge. Of course, wale ambao wana run clubs ni vijana, si wazee, si wafanya biashara mambo yenyewe wale wakubwa. Ni vijana tu ambao wao wametoka shule anasema hii kitu mimi nianzishe clubs.
The federation suspended all its activities since 2019 after the outbreak of COVID-19. Frederick Muki for Sunday Express.
Now on to celebrations from Kimolongit, where residents in that part of the country in Kipkelion West Sub-County thronged Nauro village to celebrate Faith Cherotich, who won a bronze medal in 3,000 meters steeplechase during the World Under-20 Athletics Championships held in Nairobi. The junior athlete was celebrated together with Tokyo 2020 Paralympic Games only medalist Nancy Chelagat, who hails from the area and won bronze in the 1,500 meters. Cherotich, who trains at Kipkeino Junior Camp and who is currently a Form 2 student at Kamoret Secondary School in Eldoret, began her athletic career in Class 6 and looks to becoming one of the greatest names in Kenya at the senior level.
Kwa South Rift kuna coaches wengi sana. Tatu sasa unaona namba inakuja juu kulingana na vile kila mtu anataka kuona amekuwa coach katika hii nchi ama South Rift. That is why tuko na wale wachanga ambao wanakuwa well motivated ambao wanakuja juu.
Meanwhile, the Paralympic flame was today extinguished as spectators bade farewell to Tokyo 2020 in a fantastic summer spectacle closing ceremony. The global pandemic meant fans who are still not in attendance at the Japan National Stadium. The organizers did a fine job bringing the occasion to viewers at home. Fireworks ushered in a video montage of the Paralympics' best moments, with many medal winners celebrating their highlights from a hectic 12-day competition. China dominated the final medal table with 96 golds, more than double that of runners-up Great Britain, and 207 overall medals, 83 more than their closest rivals. Kenya only managed to collect one medal, a bronze won by Nancy Chelagat. The next edition of the Olympic and Paralympic Games will be held in Paris, France, 3 years from now.
Pourtant, ils se sont dit très bien, je rajoute une année de Au contraire, elles doivent faire naître de nouvelles.
Et là, c'était plus, c'est les messagers de l'espoir.
Et regardez la pire image, mais inévitable. Bien sûr dans le sport et en dehors, pour les personnes handicapées, pour leur vie de tous les jours, qu'elles puissent savoir.
C'est l'espoir et le rêve. C'est ce qui va.
C'est ce que vous retiendrez là,
oui,
l'espoir. En quelques instants, c'est ce que vous retiendrez.
I'm wrapping up now. Thank you so much for creating time. DJ Robin Kaliwao, thank you for creating time to watch. Michael Odhiambo, you say wow, thank you. Reverend Harrison K. Kosgei, you're watching us from Lesos, Nandi County, thank you. Likwenyo Kandegwa, thank you also for creating time to watch tonight. Livingstone Alushula, and I can go on and on. Oliver Nyamongo, Adelaide Kim, Enoch, thank you so much for creating time and interacting with us on social media. I asked you what act of kindness has changed your life. It's the International Day of Charity. Let's continue that conversation on social media, and also let's continue extending a helping hand to the vulnerable in the society. My name is Serfine Achieng Ouma, and my sign language interpreter for tonight has been Anwangeshi. Thank you so much once again, and have a lovely night.